Hey, I'm Sam and I Do Design, and in the video today, it's my 3-month review of the iPad Pro. So I bought the iPad Pro as soon as it came out, and being a product designer like I am, I've been using it so much throughout the time that I've had it. And I think it's time to review it and see if I would recommend it to you guys, having used it for 3 months. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is my journey up until this point and what led me to get the huge 12.9-inch iPad Pro that you see here. And that is, I started off really early on with the iPad Pro 9.7-inch, and I thought that was an absolutely amazing tablet to sketch on. But I also thought it would be perfect if there was just a little bit of extra screen, just so you could really get the arm movement in there when you're trying to build up that muscle memory for sketching on the daily. And then as soon as they brought out the 10.5-inch, I thought this is the tablet that I've been waiting for. It's still small enough for me to carry around on my university campus, but it's got the extra space so I can sketch properly on the screen. So I used the 10.5-inch iPad Pro and I absolutely loved it. Until then, I graduated uni and I started to build my Instagram page, and I started to actually make a living from my digital design sketches. And just as this was sort of happening, that's when they brought out this new range, and I decided to go for the first time from the smaller size iPad to the larger size iPad, which is why I've got the 12.9-inch here. So I now use this daily as a sketching tablet and also my own personal iPad as well. But I get asked a lot about if I would recommend this iPad or the standard iPad compatible with the Apple Pencil 1. I'm looking to buy my first iPad, I'm looking to buy my first sketching tablet, which one to go for. And after using this for 3 months, a lot of people ask me if it's a huge improvement over the old 10.5-inch iPad that I used to use. And actually, when it comes down to it, no. The amazing thing is the screen size. If I had the bigger iPad from the version before, I don't think I would recommend to upgrade to this one. The reason being is the sketching experience is exactly the same. It's snappier, fine, and it's a little bit smoother, but is it really worth that extra price increase apart from the screen size? No. The only redeeming feature about this iPad is the way that the Apple Pencil charges. This is the best thing that has ever happened to the iPad. The way that it charges on top, it's almost like this is the way it always should have been, instead of having it stick out the bottom like it was on the old one. The next thing that I would say is the case that I'm using is the official Apple Portfolio Smart case. And the reason why I bought the official Apple one is because there was no case on the market from a third-party company that would support the Apple Pencil charging like this. So I splashed out on the Apple one, and then since then, of course, the third-party cases have been coming out left, right, and center. So if you want to save a little bit of money, I would recommend getting a third-party case, because I used to use a third-party case on all of my other iPads up until this one. But the main difference is with this one is the case doesn't come up around the sides. That means that it's held on by magnets, and I'm sure you've seen online by now that because it's got so many magnets in the back of this thing, it actually sticks to fridges, it sticks to metal doors, and I've been testing that out as well. Luckily, I've now got it insured, so if my insurance company is watching this, of course I haven't been testing it out, it's all accidental damage, but yeah, it's just a really cool feature to have, a little party trick to have on the iPad as well. So in terms of performance, I do find that it is snappier than the last one that I had. I can use apps like Sharper 3D, I can use Procreate, Sketchbook Pro, all of the apps like that mean I can get so much work done and there's no lag between all of them. So the performance is there, but I think we all know by now that the problem with the iPad for workflow is the fact that it's running iOS. I don't use the iPad Pro as my pro device at all in my day-to-day work life. I have a MacBook Pro, and that has all the programs that I need on it. I can run Windows on that, I can use SolidWorks, things like that. But the iPad Pro itself, it's more of a novelty. Really, like it is, because at the moment it doesn't run the programs that are industry standard. Jonathan Morrison made a good point that the future of the iPad industry is not about the existing programs that we know and love for our computers, but it's different apps that are sneaking up and bringing all the functionality onto the iPad itself. So he made the point of video editing or music production and things like that, which is great if you're a freelancer and if you want to explore the boundaries of what the iPad can do. But when you work for a company like me, you have to sort of fit into that company ecosystem, right? So the programs that we use at work are industry standard. Our clients use them, we use them, the people that we use for model making use them. So I can't then come along and say, oh, but there's this new app, it's called Sharper 3D. It does step files, so I can send you step files through. It's not going to work when we're talking to other companies like that. So until the big program developers bring native programs to the iPad Pro, it is not going to be able to replace your laptop. It's just not going to be able to. I get this question asked by students all the time. Should I get an iPad Pro for university? Should I get a laptop? Should I get a Windows? Should I get a Mac? And I would absolutely recommend checking out your university course structure and see what types of programs you will be learning on that course. Because I can tell you now, I almost guarantee it's not going to be compatible with the iPad Pro. So if I wouldn't recommend an iPad Pro for you to use as your daily driver at university or college or anything like that, I would definitely recommend it as an extra device, which means I know more money, but it means that you can do so much more on the go. And it actually really is my out of office computer. If I'm out and about, maybe on a train, I don't need to use a keyboard with it. So it's great for an alternative, but it doesn't replace it yet. The one thing that I was slightly worried about, I'm sure we all saw it in the news, was that the iPad bends really easily. And I do put it in my bag every day and I do walk home with it every day. And sometimes I don't take it out of my bag and I throw my bag around my flat, just put it down after a long day. And then suddenly it dawns on me, my iPad's in there and I do get really worried that it started to bend. But I do actually look at it from time to time because it worries me so much. And it's still fine. This is 3 months. I haven't been particularly careful with it. Again, if my insurance company is watching, of course I have. But I think we all know as well, if you want to try and bend something, it's going to bend. And all the viral videos that went viral, you know, jerry-rig everything, that's a real pressure point that was used in that video. So if you're worried about getting an iPad Pro for that reason, I would say don't worry about it, it's all fine. As long as you have a little bit of care for it, not crazy amounts, it's going to be fine, don't worry, just to make sure. before I say to everyone that it's not bent, no, it's fine, that's fine. Yeah, so perfectly fine, no worries at all. The other issue is because when you're using the iPad and you start to sketch on it and maybe you get really into the sketch, you start really pushing down on the screen. I'm thinking this is the weakest point along here, right? So maybe I get a little bit worried about that as well and actually bending it this way. But again, it's been absolutely fine up until now. So yeah, no problems there whatsoever. So after 3 months, I'm kind of embarrassed to say there's nothing crazy to report. I know that you all come to YouTube to hear the inside scoop, and the thing is, this is just a great iPad with one issue about the bending that doesn't really exist in my mind. It hasn't happened to me. The pencil is the best thing that's ever happened to it, and the way it charges. I would recommend getting the lowest value iPad you can if you want to get started, and then you can always work your way up later. It's never going to replace your laptop, so if you go into uni, make sure you get a good laptop for that as well. And yeah, nothing else to report. I'm sorry for wasting your time. No dramas here on this channel. We're happy. We are friendly, tech-friendly channel. When I say we, it's just me on my own. Anyway, so there it is, a quick rundown about the iPad Pro 2018 in 2019, 3 months later. If you want to know anything about the programs that I use specifically, whether that's Procreate, Sketchbook, Sharper 3D, anything like that, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to do videos on those in the future. I already have some tutorials if you want to check that out on how to sketch digitally on the iPad Pro, so go and find that on my channel as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button and everything else that YouTube asks you to do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. This is the best thing that has ever happened.